A baby unicorn. Do I like this shirt? I don't know. It looks like I got in a fight with the bleach. So a couple of months ago, I made a unicorn egg cake. And a lot of you said unicorns don't come from eggs. They do if I say they do. How about that? Catch me outside. Well, this egg hatched and out came a baby unicorn. Isn't she beautiful? Let's get started. Now to create this cake, I'm using 2 cakes I created with an egg pan, 2 6-inch dome cakes, and 4 Twinkies. Now I really want to make sure that the head of this cake didn't move around, so I created this sort of structure with a question mark. And I cut 2 arts and crafts sticks at a diagonal, and I'm just going to place them into a 5-inch cake board. Now with my paring knife, I'm cutting in 2 slits and then applying some hot glue. Take my stick, place it into the slit, and the hot glue will just hold it in place. Once you finish that, we can start assembling this cake. First, I'm going to take the 6-inch dome cake and then put it in between the 2 sticks for the body. And I'm going to take my first egg cake and just plunge it into the sticks. Have it rest on the dome cake. Now these sticks really do make sure that this head doesn't move. Now I'm going to apply some buttercream to the neck as well as the inside of the bottom of the head. Spread it out with my offset spatula and then place on the top part of the head. Now I'm gonna cut away the sides of the body because I don't want the body to be super round. And then I'm going to work with the Twinkies. They're the perfect length and thickness for these unicorn legs. And they save you so much time because you don't have to bake more cake. Let's open up the package. Now I cut them on a diagonal and then I made sure that the back legs were a little bit longer than the front legs. Why? I don't know. It made sense to me then, that's why. And once I placed them on, I gave this entire cake a crumb coat. A crumb coat just ensures that none of these crumbs appear on the final layer of buttercream. And while I was waiting, I was watching Queen of Katwe. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's about this girl who's like a chess genius. The song right before the end credit sequence makes me cry every single time. It's like really sort of bittersweet and I just sit there just like a big ball of tears. Now after that, I took it out of the fridge and gave it another layer of buttercream. I actually gave it 2 more layers of buttercream and in between each layer, I placed it back into the fridge for about 30 minutes. That way the buttercream could stiffen up and it made it a lot easier to work with and smoothen out. Now with the 2 bottom layers, I used those layers to make sure that I got the shape of the head and the body correct. Now the final layer of buttercream, which is a super thin layer, is just to ensure that the unicorn has the exact same texture that the unicorn egg has. I really wanted to make sure that you understood that this unicorn came from that egg. All in all, I think it was like 5 or 6 hours before I was completely satisfied with the buttercream. I think it took me even longer because this cake isn't completely covered in fondant, even though there are some fondant pieces. Most of the buttercream is gonna show through, so it had to look close to perfect. I'm not really a perfectionist, so I'm okay with being close to perfect. I'm sort of a B+ kind of a guy. So the first thing I'm gonna do is create the unicorn snout. I rolled out some tan colored fondant and I created a template that I'm going to place on top and cut out with my X-Acto knife. Get rid of the excess and then just take this piece and place it onto the front of our unicorn's face. Now to create his ears, I'm going to roll out some white fondant about 3/4 of an inch thick and I'm going to cut it into 2 triangle shapes using my paring knife. So you want to create the left and the right ear and you want to make sure that they're very similar. Ideally you want them to be exact, but I didn't care too much. So they kind of look like cousins and not siblings. You know, if you do eyebrows, you get it. I rolled out some pale pink fondant to go on the inside of the ear, and I'm just gonna cut out 2 smaller triangles and attach them with a little bit of vodka and a paintbrush. Place 2 toothpicks on the bottom and just stab them into our unicorn cake. Guys, I'm loving this sleeveless shirt that I'm wearing. I only bought it for $5 and I think it's looking really good. Now for her eyes, I rolled out some black fondant super thin, and I'm just going to use a cookie cutter to get the round eye shape. Now to give it some sparkle, I rolled out some white fondant super thin, and just used a small fondant cutter to get that catch light. Glued those on with a little bit of vodka, and then just place them onto my cake. Now I asked you guys in the community tab if you wanted this to be a boy or a girl, and you guys said that you wanted it to be a girl, so I'm also gonna give it some eyelashes that I created using some cookie cutters. Oh, dude, these eyelashes making it look super cute. Hashtag cute. Hashtag lash game strong. Now let's move on to the unicorn horn. Now I've got some ugly yellow fondant, you've seen this before. I'm gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna cut those two pieces in half again. Now each piece is gonna get rolled into this cone shape. One side to be really thin and one side to be extremely thick. I'm gonna repeat that process with the other 3 pieces. Then I'm just going to pile them and then twist them all together to get the unicorn horn. Insert a popsicle stick. I'm going to cover it in, you guessed it, gold luster dust. It's actually not even gold luster dust, it's gold highlighter. I really wanted this to look exactly like the horn I created on the unicorn egg. Then I just took the horn and stabbed it into the cake. It looks so good, you guys. Now the last dome cake I actually cut into a very ugly, unrecognizable shape for the unicorn tail. I gave it a crumb coat, and it's the last thing I'm gonna do because I kind of forgot about it. I got too excited about the horn and this kind of just fell by the wayside. Our unicorn is almost complete. All it needs is its mane. And I'm going to create the exact same mane I created on the unicorn egg. I'm gonna use the same colors and tips. And I'm not just sticking to icing, I'm also using some silver gumballs, different colored sixlets and sprinkles. The mixture of texture and color just adds so much, it just looks so pretty. I did the exact same thing on the tail, and I just tried to make it look like it was braided. And just like the unicorn egg, this baby was born on a nest of coconut shavings and graham crackers. Why? Because I said so, that's why. You want to catch me outside, really? Now here I just added some gumballs just to give it a little bit more texture. And boom, our baby unicorn is born. Now y'all decided that our unicorn was a girl. Gabrielle said that she should be called Konfifi. And I was gonna name her Daphne. A lot of you really like Daphne. I really couldn't decide, and then I was like, what if her name was like John Cena? And it was a joke at first, but then I was like, well, it could be, that would be kind of cool. And then Simple Sarah was like, why don't you just call her Cena? And you got it. Interesting fact though, Cena wasn't the only unicorn egg in the nest. She has a twin brother named Doodle. But that's a totally different video. I'm not even joking, you guys. I have so many designs for this cake concept. There are gonna be so many animals built this way. I'm already looking ahead into like a series of cakes that are just like koala creatures. First in that series is this rainbow zebra, but again, that's a totally different video. Now if you haven't already, make sure you turn on your notifications. That way when I post pictures of progress shots of my cakes in the community tab, you can add your comments and thoughts and be a part of upcoming videos. Now I'm curious fam, what's the next animal I should create using this cake? Let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. I will see you very soon. Bye.